Before we crack open tonight's cursed can of content, I just want to say a big thank you to all our subscribers, and an extra sinister shout out to the loyal members of the Sinister Elite. You legends help keep the darkness alive. If you're enjoying the stories and want to take it a step further, hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and consider joining the Sinister Elite by clicking that join button below. Members get access to creepy custom emojis and exclusive Sinister Elite badges that level up the longer you survive with us. It's like loyalty, but spookier. All right, lights off, headphones in, and let's summon something we'll all regret. I applied for the carnival job because the ad said cash paid nightly. Must be okay with quirky safety protocols. I've had worse offers. One involved selling knives door to door. Another involved discreet bat removal. At least this one came with a polo. The polo is red, 2 sizes too big, and says Sunset Carnival in peeling letters. My name tag doesn't have my name. It has New Kid black markered across it like a warning label. Don't take it personal, says my boss, a wiry guy with a magician's mustache and a nicotine cough. Everyone's New Kid until they survive a week. He sticks out a hand. Chess Harrow, owner, operator, therapist. You scream, I'm who you come to. Chess gives me the tour. We're parked behind an abandoned mall at the edge of town, the kind of lot where weeds come up through asphalt, and someone always thinks it's a great place to learn stick shift. Even in daylight, the carnival looks tired. Rust that's been painted over so many times it's learned to smile. String lights that flicker like they're remembering something. The calliope music doesn't play so much as breathe. Wheeze in, wheeze out, like the whole venue's a giant lung. Here's your station. Chess stops at a ring toss booth where the bottles are a little too close together and a little too tall. Smile big, sell the dream, don't promise anything. He hands me a laminated card, grease-stained and thumbed soft as fabric. And this. I glance down. It's a list. The list. Carnival rules. Employees. Never ride alone. No one enters the Funhouse after midnight. Not even to turn off a light. Do not sweep popcorn after the final bell. If you hear the calliope but the carousel isn't moving, go stand under a streetlight and look down. Do not look up. Do not accept prizes back. If they insist, tell them to leave it on the fence. If the red balloon stops moving, in the wind, go to the ticket booth and wait. There's more on the back, but Chess covers it with his palm. We'll get to the rest if you make it to Friday. This is a joke, right? I say. Because if you say it like a joke, it'll go down easier. Like a fun, quirky safety protocol. Corporate team building. We're not corporate. He taps rule number 1. His eyes are pale in that way that makes you think of old glass. That one's not funny. A clown waddles past us, smoking a menthol, makeup caving into wrinkles like a sad birthday cake. Welcome to heaven, New Kid, he says, voice like gravel. The name on his chest reads Buttons, which I mentally update to unfastened. If you gotta cry, do it in the cotton candy tent, the sugar hides the salt. Don't listen to Buttons, says Marisol, appearing at my elbow. She's got a spool of wristbands, a tool belt, and eyes that look like she's already seen me make 3 mistakes and is disappointed I haven't fixed them yet. Listen to me. Keep your back to rails. If you hear your name and no one's there, it's not for you. She taps my rule card. You memorize this like it's the Wi-Fi password at a coffee shop with no outlets. We open at 5. The sky goes bruise purple, then blue-black, and the lot fills with people. Teenagers daring each other to puke, parents bargaining with small sticky gods, couples who think screaming together means something. I sell dreams shaped like neon rings and watch them bounce off bottlenecks with a sound like soft laughter. A kid wins a stuffed raccoon, hugs it, and it squeaks. The squeak sounds like help. I tell myself I imagined it. The carousel looms at the edge of everything. Horses frozen mid-gallop, paint cracking like old smiles. One of them is missing an eye. Someone stuck a brass tack in the socket, like a pinhole star. I catch it in my periphery once, swear the head tilts, then decide head tilting isn't a thing and that my peripheral vision is a drama queen. The Funhouse is worse. The mirrors are mean. They find the thing you hate and throw a spotlight on it. The door sign says no entry after midnight in friendly carnival font the same way a crocodile says hugs with its mouth. Buttons plants a strip of painter's tape across the frame at 11:59, like that's going to stop whatever's inside from leaving. Question, I say to Chess during a lull. Rule number 3. Why no sweeping popcorn after close? We worried about stealth raccoons? Carb-loving ghosts? Popcorn's a language, he says, deadpan. Don't reply after hours. Right, sure. I nod like that explains anything and go back to convincing a dad that this time, his throw's got destiny written all over it. The last hour stretches like taffy. The wind picks up. The string lights hum louder, then softer, like someone's throat clearing. Marisol makes a lap with a flashlight that's too bright for the batteries we can afford. 10 minutes, she calls. Count your till, count your toes. Anybody missing fingers, report to first aid. We close on the dot. The crowd thins out like someone pulled a plug. The calliope wheeze winds down to a steady, slow pulse. I start to shut the ring toss when a college kid with an undercut and a sad mustache jogs up, breath fogging. Dude, my phone, he pants. I left it in one of the Ferris wheel cars, car 13. Please, it's my whole life. My notes, my grandma, He makes a helpless gesture. Everything. I can go with you, he says, but Chess is already shaking his head. Guests are clear, Chess says. He looks at me, then past me to the Ferris wheel. New kid can fetch it. Marisol's face does a thing like a flinch. Chess sighs. Fine, quick, in and out. Car 13. Don't sit, don't lock the bar. And, I know, I say, flipping the card to show I've read it. Never ride alone. I'm not riding. I'm retrieving. Semantics, Marisol mutters. Semantics kills. But the kid's eyes are wild with the particular panic of a lost phone, and I want to be the hero in a story that isn't scary yet. I jog across the lot. The Ferris wheel is a skeleton against the dark, light bulbs ticking in the wind. No operator in the booth. The gates half open like a mouth. Car 13 waits at the bottom, upholstered in vinyl that remembers every summer since 1974. I step in, careful. I do not sit. I do not touch the safety bar. I lean, crane my arm, and there, wedged in the corner, a cracked screen slab with a sunflower case. Got it, I whisper, victorious. I lift the phone, turn to hop down, and the bar swings itself shut with a neat, loving click. I freeze. The hair on my arms goes static. Okay, I say aloud, to the air, to the wheel. Very funny. I'm not riding. The calliope starts up, not from the speakers, from nowhere, from everywhere. Thin, breathy music threads the dark. I look at the carousel. It's still. Every horse is still. The music keeps playing. Rule number 4 taps my skull like a knuckle. If you hear the calliope but the carousel isn't moving, go stand under a streetlight and look down. Do not look up. I am not under a streetlight. The Ferris wheel shudders. The ground steps away. One ratcheting clank, then another, and we're climbing, gentle and relentless, a slow, polite ascent like an elevator that knows all your secrets. Chess? I call, voice small. Marisol? The lot looks wrong from up here. Too empty. Too expectant. On the vinyl beside me, the sunflower phone lights up. No notification. No touch. Just a glow, like a blinking eye. In the reflection, I can see my own face. I can also see a second reflection behind mine, where there is no one sitting. It smiles. The Ferris wheel should have creaked, groaned, done the whole rickety, I might collapse and ruin your life carnival thing. Instead, it purred. Smooth. Too smooth. Like the gears had been waiting for me specifically. I clutched the sunflower phone like it was holy scripture. Its screen stayed lit, my reflection jittery in the cracked glass. The second reflection still grinned over my shoulder, teeth thin and too long, like piano keys someone filed down to fangs. Rule number 4 was screaming in my head. If the calliope plays while the carousel isn't moving, go to a streetlight and look down. The problem was, I wasn't near a streetlight. I was dangling 50 feet in the air with a ghostly selfie partner. Okay, I said, because apparently my strategy for death was small talk. Cool prank. Very immersive. Y'all are committed to the bit. The reflection didn't blink. It mouthed something. One syllable. Hard to tell. Could have been ride. Could have been hide. Neither sounded like a good time. The wheel stopped. Car 13 swayed gently. I tried the safety bar. Locked. I yanked. Nothing. Behind me, the reflection tilted its head. Mine didn't. And then the phone buzzed. An incoming call. Number unknown. I almost hurled it, but my survival brain is just stupid enough to answer mysterious calls in haunted carnivals. Hello? The voice on the other end was Chess. Or maybe not Chess. It sounded like him, but older, cracked, stretched like a cassette tape left in the sun. Don't speak to it, it rasped. Don't let it finish. Finish what? I hissed. The reflection's mouth kept moving. Faster now, like it was chanting. The voice on the line went static. Then silence. I looked back at the phone screen. My reflection was gone. The other one wasn't. The wheel lurched and started down, lowering me back to the ground. Each click felt like it was chewing through bone. By the time the car settled, my legs were jelly. The bar popped open like it had never locked. I bolted out. The sunflower phone burned in my palm, but the college kid was waiting, bouncing on his heels. He looked way too alive for someone I was 100% sure was dead 10 minutes ago. Dude, thank you. He snatched the phone from me, grinning ear to ear. I owe you big. You're a lifesaver. His teeth looked normal. His eyes didn't. Too glassy. Too mirror-like. He walked away without another word, blending into the shadows at the edge of the lot. Marisol intercepted me before I could collapse. She shoved a funnel cake into my hands. Powdered sugar rained down like snow. Eat. Helps ground you. I took a bite. Sugar and grease mixing with bile. What the hell was that? First test, she said, calm as if we were discussing the weather. Wheel likes to play with new hires. Some folks fail. You didn't. Fail? I nearly choked on fried dough. I almost became whatever that was. She leaned in, flashlight beam cutting across her sharp cheekbones. Rule number 1, new kid. Never ride alone. You got locked in a car alone. That's why it came. Chess appeared, chewing on a cigar that wasn't lit. He looked me up and down like I was bruised fruit at a market. You're not screaming. That's promising. You'll learn. Learn what? That the rules aren't suggestions, he said. They're chains. They keep everything tied down. You break one, you see what's under the tarp. Buttons shuffled by, juggling 3 beer bottles badly, face paint flaking. Ferris loves fresh meat, he croaked. Glad you didn't pop. He cackled, dropped a bottle, and shuffled off. I stared after him. That's normal here? That's just Tuesday? Chess clapped me on the back hard enough to rattle the funnel cake. Kid, it's Monday. Cleanup started. The crowd was gone, but the carnival wasn't quiet. Rides whispered. Booths muttered. Somewhere, the carousel horse's tack eye glinted like it was winking. Marisol was sweeping. I noticed immediately. Popcorn. Rule number 3. Hey, I called. You're breaking a rule. She shook her head, kept sweeping. Nope, check the time. I glanced at the clock over the ticket booth. 11:57. After midnight, she corrected. Then it talks back. She shoved the broom into my hand. Here, practice. You'll know when to stop. Reluctantly, I swept a drift of popcorn kernels into a sad little pile. They crunched under the bristles like brittle bones. For a second, just a second, I swore they rearranged themselves, into letters, a crooked word, run. I blinked. Gone. Just kernels again. The calliope sputtered. A long, wet wheeze. Everyone froze. Buttons stopped mid-drag. Marisol's hand tightened on my wrist. The carousel horses didn't move. Chess swore under his breath. Streetlights. Now. Everyone scattered. I followed, stumbling, sugar powder ghosting from my shirt. We crowded under the halogen lamps at the edge of the lot. Their light was harsh, too white, like interrogation bulbs. "Look down," Chess barked. I did. Asphalt, weeds, my own shadow. Trembling. Above us, the calliope screamed a single note. Long, piercing, then silence. Marisol whispered, "Don't ever look up when it plays without the ride. That's when it hunts." I didn't ask what it was. I didn't want to know. Back at the booths, Chess lit his dead cigar and somehow made it smoke anyway. "Survived your first night, new kid. Carnival likes you. Might even keep you." "Keep me?" I echoed. "Some places hire. Some places adopt." His grin was all mustache and menace. "Guess we'll see which you are." The lights flickered, humming like laughter, and somewhere inside the funhouse, past the taped-off door, something knocked. 3 sharp raps, like it was waiting for midnight. The knock came again. 3 heavy, deliberate raps. Not the wind, not pipes, not the creak of an old frame. Someone, or something, was inside the funhouse, tapping politely to be let out. I stood frozen. Chess didn't. He barked, "Ignore it," then snapped his fingers at Buttons, who lumbered over with a roll of duct tape. The clown slapped another layer across the funhouse door, humming a tune that didn't sound like anything human should hum. "What happens if it gets out?" I asked. Marisol shot me a look, sharp enough to shave with. "Don't ask questions you don't want answers to." Buttons cackled, pressing the tape flat. "Oh, he'll find out soon enough. We all do." The knock stopped. Silence. Too much silence. It was the kind that pressed on your ears until you heard your own blood moving. Then the laughter started. Faint. Childlike. Echoing through the mirrors inside. Chess clapped his hands. "That's enough sightseeing for tonight. You survived, new kid. Barely. Get some sleep. You'll need it." Sleep wasn't exactly on the menu. They'd stuck me in one of the rusted-out RVs parked behind the midway. The mattress had springs that poked like accusations, and every time I shut my eyes, I saw my double in the Ferris wheel glass, whispering. By 3 a.m, I gave up and stared at the water-stained ceiling. The carnival outside never really went quiet. Rides whispered in their chains. Balloons knocked against booths. And faintest of all, a mirror giggled. Morning brought no sunshine. Just a gray haze that felt like someone had smeared the sky with wet chalk. Marisol handed me stale coffee in a paper cup. "You look like hell." "I feel like hell." She shrugged. "Then you're fitting in." Chess was already barking orders, getting ready for the next night. He had us restringing lights, patching holes in the tilt-a-whirl canopy, feeding the prize booth goldfish that all looked like they'd been through several lifetimes. I kept thinking about the knocking, about the voice on the sunflower phone, about rules that read more like warnings carved into a tombstone. Finally, I asked Marisol, "Why not just leave? Close the place down, torch it, salt the earth, whatever?" She tied off a bag of cotton candy, spun the sugar like spider silk. "You think we can leave? You think Chess hasn't tried?" I waited. Her silence was louder than any answer. That night, the crowd came thicker. Whole families, kids shrieking, lovers holding hands. Nobody noticed the way the carousel horses' eyes followed them. Nobody noticed the way the funhouse mirrors fogged from the inside. Rule number 2 haunted me. No one enters the funhouse after midnight. So of course, around 12:01, some idiot had to try. It was a teenager. The type with a daredevil grin and more confidence than common sense. He ducked under the tape while his friends egged him on. "Yo, selfie time," he hollered, phone in hand. "Haunted Funhouse challenge, baby." The tape fluttered behind him as the door shut. Not slammed, Shut. Software deliberate. The friends cheered. Then they waited. A minute. 2. The cheering stopped. Then the screaming started. Not his screaming. Dozens of voices. A chorus. All shapes and ages. Some high, some guttural. The kind of screaming that's been waiting for a throat. The friends bolted, scattering like pigeons. The door bulged, mirrors rattling inside, laughter skittering out across the midway like broken glass rolling downhill. I grabbed Chess. "We have to help him." Chess's mustache twitched. "Rule number 2, we don't go in after midnight. He's going to die in there." "Then he'll stay in there," Chess said, voice flat. "That's the deal. That's the chain." The screams cut off, all at once. And then, a new reflection pressed against the funhouse glass. A teenage boy with a daredevil grin, phone clutched in one hand, eyes wide, begging. He lifted his hand. He waved at me. I took one step forward. Marisol yanked me back so hard I nearly lost teeth. "Don't," she hissed. "You wave back. You're next." The reflection smiled wider. Too wide. Its jaw cracked open like a hinge, and then it faded into the mirror. Gone. The tape peeled itself off the door. Slowly. Carefully. The door creaked open. The funhouse was dark. Empty. The boy never came out. That night I couldn't even lie down. The RV walls seemed to breathe, expanding and shrinking. In the reflection of the grimy window, I swore I saw him. Car 13 boy. Smiling again. Only now he wasn't waving. He was beckoning. By my 4th night, I'd accepted that Sunset Carnival wasn't just creepy. It was alive. And not in the fun Disney magic way. More in the breathing down your neck, whispering your name when no one's around way. I tried to play it cool. Sell rings. Smile. Pretend the rules were just quirky traditions. But every time I glanced at the funhouse, the taped door, or the carousel horses, my stomach turned into origami. Halfway through the night, it happened. A mom marched up to my booth, dragging her daughter behind her. The little girl clutched a giant stuffed bear, almost bigger than she was. Its stitched smile was a little too human. "She doesn't want this one," the mom snapped. "It's scaring her. She wants to trade it." I remembered rule number 5. Do not accept prizes back. If they insist, tell them to leave it on the fence. "Sorry, ma'am. No returns. Carnival policy." Her nostrils flared. "She's crying. You mean to tell me you won't just take it back and swap it for—" The bear twitched. Just a shudder, like it had breathed. The girl shrieked and dropped it. The bear landed on its side and rolled until it was staring straight at me. I swallowed hard. "Fence. Please. Just leave it on the fence." The mom cursed under her breath but dragged her daughter away. She set the bear against the chain link at the edge of the lot, muttering about lawsuits. Buttons shuffled by, whistling, and gave me a wink. "Good lad. Would have eaten you whole if you'd touched it." "What would have?" I asked, voice cracking. He blew smoke from his nose and kept walking. Later, while sweeping, 1140, still safe, I saw the bear again, still propped against the fence. But now it wasn't alone. A row of other prizes had joined it. Plush raccoons, dolls, a rubbery fish, a plastic sword. All lined up, staring back at the carnival, like an army of unwanted children waiting for their real parents to come. One of them lifted its head, just a fraction. Then it went still. I dropped the broom. Midnight hit. The bell chimed. The calliope wheezed. Long, low, wheezy notes that didn't belong to any song. The carnival staff scattered to the streetlights. Chess barked at me to hurry, but I couldn't move. Because the prizes were gone. The fence was empty. And in the middle of the lot, under the dead lights of the Ferris wheel, I saw them standing. The bear, the raccoon, the sword, all upright, all waiting, their eyes reflecting neon. The carousel shuddered. Its horses began to creak in place, but the platform didn't turn. Their tack eyes rolled like dice. Marisol grabbed my arm and hauled me toward the streetlights. "Don't look at them." I'm not, I lied. I looked. The bear's head swiveled, slow as rust, to follow me. Under the harsh glare of the streetlight, my heart tried to hammer through my ribs. The prizes didn't follow. They stayed put, watching, until the calliope finally wound down into silence. Then, just like that, they were gone. The asphalt was bare. No bear, no raccoon, nothing. Back in the RV, I told myself it was exhaustion, stress, hallucination. But then I noticed something new taped to my rule card. Addendum to rule number 5. If the prizes gather in the lot, do not let them count you. Count me? I didn't sleep a second that night. Because through the RV window, I could see the stuffed bear again, sitting on the hood of my car, its stitched smile wider than before. By the 5th night, I'd stopped pretending Sunset Carnival was a job. It was a sentence. The bear never left my car hood. Sometimes it was sitting, sometimes it was standing. Once, when I came out of the RV, it was leaning against the windshield like it was peering inside. Every time I blinked, its stitched grin seemed a little wider. I tried telling Chess. Prizes are piling up around me, I said, voice cracking. Rule says don't let them count me. What the hell does that mean? Chess sucked on his unlit cigar. Means don't give them the chance. They get to 5. You're not walking out. 5 what? He looked at me with eyes like burnt glass. 5 prizes. 5 eyes. 5 shadows. However they want to measure. Doesn't matter. Once they tally you up, you belong to the midway. That's insane. Son, Chess rasped, this whole place is insane. The trick is to survive long enough that the rules start feeling like sense. That night, I worked the ring toss with my back sweating through the polo. Every time a kid won, I prayed they'd keep the prize. Hold it tight, never let it touch the fence. But people always want to give things back. By 11 o'clock, I counted 3 plush rejects against the chain link. They stared, lined shoulder to shoulder like little jurors. By 11:30, the bear joined them. 4. My stomach dropped into my shoes. The bell chimed midnight. The calliope coughed to life. I bolted for the streetlights, heart kicking like a mule. That's when I saw them. Not just the prizes, people too. Faces I recognized. The boy from the Funhouse, the college kid with the sunflower phone. Their reflections, or whatever had replaced them, stood shoulder to shoulder with the toys. Their eyes were too shiny, too mirror bright. They were all counting, lips moving silently, heads turning in my direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Their gaze burned into me. 5. The word slammed into my skull like a hammer. Down! Marisol shouted, shoving me under the streetlight. Look down! I did. Asphalt, shoes, shaking hands. Don't look up, I told myself. Don't give them the satisfaction. The calliope wailed high, a note sharp enough to carve through bone, and then it stopped. When I finally dared to glance up, the prizes were gone. The funhouse door hung still. The lot was empty, except for the bear, sitting at my booth, like it owned the place. Back at the RV, I found a new scrap of paper taped to the rule card. Rule number 7. If they count to 5, you need a partner. Only pairs walk free. There was a smudge under the handwriting, like blood, or grease, or both. I barely had time to process before the knock started again. 3 raps, from inside the RV mirror, and this time, the reflection knocking wasn't the boy. It was me. The reflection in the RV mirror smiled like it already knew the ending. It knocked again. 3 times. My knuckles clenched around the rule card like it was a weapon. The words swam in my head. If they count to 5, you need a partner. Only pairs walk free. The problem was, I didn't have a partner. The carnival lit up on its own. Midnight and every bulb blazed. The rides whirred to life, unmanned. The Ferris wheel spun in silence. The carousel horses galloped nowhere. The funhouse mirrors laughed in overlapping voices. And in the middle of it all, the prizes waited. The bear, the raccoon, the sunflower phone boy, the funhouse daredevil, all lined up grinning. Their lips moved in sync, counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. I bolted. Chess's voice roared across the midway. Find a partner, or you're theirs. The prizes took a step forward. 5. The calliope screamed. Something peeled itself out of the shadows behind the funhouse. Long limbs, too many teeth. A carnival worker's vest stretched across a ribcage that didn't belong. The thing sniffed the air, and the mirrors bent inward like they were bowing to it. Marisol grabbed my wrist, yanking me under the streetlight. You with me? I stammered. Yeah. The bear twitched its stitched head. The funhouse boy lifted his hand. Chess was shouting, his mustache bristling with panic. Say it! Say your partners out loud! Partners! Marisol shouted. Her grip crushed my hand. The asphalt cracked beneath the prizes. They howled, their voices overlapping like every laugh I'd ever heard twisted into a scream. The monster lunged. Everything went white. When my vision cleared, the carnival was silent. The rides were still. The prizes were gone. The bear's stitched grin wasn't staring anymore. I was standing under the streetlight with Marisol, our shadows fused together on the asphalt. Chess limped over, chewing his unlit cigar. You made it. First week's the worst. Week? I croaked. Marisol let go of my hand, finally. He means shift. Once you survive 5 nights, the carnival claims you. What does that mean? Chess grinned, teeth yellow in the dark. Means you don't leave. Ever. You're staff now. Forever. Behind him, the funhouse door creaked open just enough to whisper a promise. My reflection was still inside the mirror, smiling, waiting. I looked down at the rule card, fingers trembling. There was new writing scrawled at the bottom in red. Final rule: never quit. The carnival doesn't let go of its own. I wanted to scream. Instead, I laughed. Hollow. Because the worst part wasn't that I couldn't leave. The worst part was, I'd started to believe the rules made sense. And maybe, I'd already started counting.